Whether you've been working for 2 years or 40, most likely you have a 401k. So what do you do with it right now in this market turmoil? And for that, I grabbed your Some Money Authors Senior Correspondent Farnoosh Torabi. So what do we do? Tips for everybody.
All right. First tip, don't bail on your 401k. I'm hearing a lot of stories about people withdrawing early from their 401k.
That's a big penalty, right?
That's huge mistake, big penalties. And also realize that you have, unless you're 63 or 62 or 58, that's when you may want to start being more conservative with your allocation. But if you're like everybody else, you want to first and foremost make sure that you're contributing enough to the point where your company is matching your contribution. In this country, the average match is 50 cents to the dollar, up to 6% of your contribution to your 401k. Make sure you're taking advantage of that free money. Number two, make sure you don't have too much exposure to your company's stock. The reason we saw a lot of disappointment over the past few weeks, people had too much exposure to Lehman Brothers if they were working there, or Merrill Lynch if they were working there, and that's just a mistake. If Enron wasn't, if you were going to take any lesson from Enron, it's you don't want to have too much, no more than 10% of your money invested in your company's 401k.
Now, Farnoosh, if you have a 401k, most likely you can allocate to different funds.
Right.
Should we do that? Should we go to safer places and go away from foreign markets or larger cap companies?
Cash is king right now. We're seeing a lot of investors fleeing to the bond markets, cash, gold, etc., safe havens, sectors that are paying dividends, stocks that are paying dividends. But if you're a young investor, the suggestion is 10% towards riskier investments at least. You're younger, you have a longer timeline until you retire. If you want to go for the small caps, that's perfectly healthy. Know that in the past 60 years, Alex, we've had about 10 economic recessions, each followed by about 5 years of boom period. So it's just a cycle, and if you're young, you're more likely to have gains, as you retire. So don't be too reluctant to take some risk in this market. Be smart about it. Still take a diversified approach, but realize with all the beaten down stocks, you want to look for stocks that have good cash on their balance sheets, stocks that have a diversified geographic exposure. They're not just U.S. based, but they also have international exposure. Do your homework. 1 hour per stock per week, as Jim Cramer says, and you'll be okay.
All right, we're also going to have another video of what to do if you're actually close to retirement and how to reallocate and think about your 401k, so stay tuned.